y'all. I'm CJ Peterson. I'm over here is my author, co-host over here is author Michael Scott Clifton. Down below, we have President of the East Texas Writers Guild, Lydia Holley, who we'll get to in just a quick moment. Before we do so, Mike, how are you doing in the author world, and what do you have going on?
Well, we got back. We were at the Mississippi Comic Con in Jackson, Mississippi last weekend. It's a 3-day Comic Con, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it was it's a good Comic Con, but boy, it's a long way. It's a 5-hour drive for us down there one way, 5 hours coming back, and we got there a day early because there's some things around. What we try to do is maybe get there a day early and look around, maybe be tourists or whatever, and since we're already going to be there. So one of the neat things we did was we ate at the famous Brent's Diner in downtown Jackson. It's been continuously operating, I think, since the early 1940s. It's got the same decor. It's really neat. And, Jackson's a pretty vibrant place. Just wish it wasn't 5 hours away. So, but for those of you who follow me on Facebook, of course I write, but I'm sort of an amateur gardener, and I had a big pea patch, which I had to pick before we went to the Comic Con, and then I had to come back. And one of the first things I had to do was pick peas as well. And when I taught history for several years when I was junior high. And I don't know how people picked cotton back in the days, because picking peas is just warm me flap out. I mean, it's just, I don't know how people do it. My hat's off for them. It's just hard work. Oh, and so we did okay. And of course, the East Texas Comic Con is coming up middle of July, as you well know. And you're doing the floor running, and I'm going to be a vendor there, and it's going to be close by, from a 5-hour to 55 minutes away. It'll be in Longview. Yep. And looking forward to that. And I've got a book I've been working on for about a year, and that's about my speed.
I hear you had a guest step by your table in Mississippi Comic Con too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Ozzy Osbourne stopped by. Everybody thought he was dead, but apparently he's still alive and kicking, because this guy, he went by several times. I told my wife, I said, I got to get a picture with him. Just got to. And he's spitting image of Ozzy Osbourne. And so he got a picture. And so that's, and I mean, he looks, when I say he looks just like him, he looks just like him. It could be his twin lost brother somewhere, but yeah. So we had a fun, like I said, 3-day Comic Cons are pretty long. We prefer 2, but that's one of the bigger ones we go to. So it's 3 days, but 2 days are more of our speed. And anyway, I've got a book that'll be out, I hope, depending on when I can get it formatted, in the next couple of months. And I'm usually I don't put a date or a timeline for me to finish a book. I try to work at it at my speed, and which is much slower than you CJ. I mean, you work much faster than I do, but I don't really worry about when the start or the finish is. Whenever I get there, I get there. So but I am looking, as authors, we are all authors, there is a sense of real satisfaction when you finish a task that you started in writing your book. And that's always a really good feeling, whether you sell 1 copy or 1 million, so I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, the Comic-Con that you mentioned is East Texas Comic-Con. That's going to be in Longview, Texas, and that's going to be on the 18th and 19th of July. For more information, you can check out easttexascomiccon.com. And the guests have been announced for that particular one. And yes, I will be running the floor. If you're interested in any of my books, feel free to message me at cjpetersonwrites.com. I will get that. The next Comic-Con coming up, you can mark your calendars for the 29th and 30th of August, and that one will be in Lufkin, Texas. I believe Mike will be a vendor there as well. And that one will be on the 29th and 30th, and that one will be pinywoodscomiccon.com, and that will be in Lufkin, Texas. And then the next one, you can also mark your calendars for, that will be the 29th or the 19th and 20th of September, and that will be in Victoria, Texas, and that is Victoria Fan Fest. You can find out more information at victoriafanfest.com. Those are the next 3 Comic Cons I have coming up. As far as books, the one I'm currently working on is an anthology. If you guys remember, I was a speaker at a Christian Writers Conference of Pennsylvania for 2 seasons. And with that, there was a group of teens and a couple older ladies that were in there. And we got together. I got them together, and we're going to be writing an anthology book. It's actually going to be a trilogy, but the first book is almost done. And that's the main one I'm focusing on. And once that one's done, the trilogy that I'm writing that has my Magic Mickey Mischief co-hostesses and their hubbies, along with hubby and I, Super Hubby and I, that one is almost done, but that one's currently on hold till the trilogy first book is done. That's currently the one I'm focusing on. I'm gathering their bios and everything to get that one ready to go. Both of the trilogies are fantasies. The one with the anthology has to do with dragons. The other one is a little bit more interesting. Or that one when it gets closer to launch. But the fantasy one about the dragons is almost ready to go. Hopefully in the next few months, that one will be launching the first book for that one. Super excited about that one. More to come in the future regarding the first book and the anthology trilogy, where each of us kind of write a chapter. So that one should be coming soon. But ready to get on to our guests. Lydia Holley, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
So Lydia is president of the East Texas Writers Guild. Can you share a little bit about the East Texas Writers Guild for those who do not know?
Okay, so the East Texas Writers Guild was formed way back in 2004 by people that just wrote books and wanted to know more about, writing and
Oh, she locked up. A few of our guests were one of them was, I don't know if she still is or not. Linda Pirtle used to be part of the East Texas Writers Guild. I'm not sure she still is. Michael Wigginton is part of the East Texas Writers Guild, and Mike is part of the East Texas Writers Guild. And who was the third one?
April Coker.
April Coker is part of the East Texas Writers Guild, and they are former guests of ours, so you may know them. Okay, Lydia, go ahead. You're unlocked now.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, we still get together, and we still, that's our main focus, is to learn everything about the entire writing, everything business, the writing part, the craft, the publishing, the marketing, everything that you need to know. And we have several different ways that we do that. On the second Monday of every month, we have our general speakers meeting, and we have speakers come in and they talk about a certain topic. Mike has been one of our speakers before, and we meet at 6:30 at the Chamber of Commerce in the Jenna Cove building, and it is very nice. And we always have birthday cake there. That's kind of a secret that we.
And what time is it?
That starts at 6:30.
What town is it in?
I'm sorry.
What town is it in?
It's in Tyler. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So Chamber of Commerce, 315 North Broadway in Tyler.
Okay.
We had a member that wasn't coming to the general meetings. He would come to the other meetings, and then he came to the general meeting one time. He goes, "Wait a minute, y'all have cake every month?" We do.
Ooh,
And we have coffees and teas and that sort of thing. Pat Lavigne, she makes the cake, so it's so nice that she brings in homemade cake every month. And then we have a speaker, just a little bit of time to talk to each other. We do meet for dinner before that at 5:00. Right now we're meeting at Don Juan's on Irwin, but not the one on the square, the one at 1313 East Irwin, because of all the construction and stuff. So I think the majority of the people who are members of the Writers Guild, they love the information, but they mostly love the camaraderie because
Right.
you know, when you're writing, sometimes you'll go through those dips where you're just kind of like, oh, why am I doing this? And then sometimes you're all high. And it doesn't matter which way you are, you need to kind of come and share that. And, you know, people will lift you up if you're going down or, you know, celebrate with you if you're up. So our camaraderie is wonderful.
Right. Having attended some of your pre-meeting dinners, and of course, been a speaker a time or two, I can attest to the fact that all the members are extremely friendly and welcoming, and very warm. And I think anybody that is interested in writing, whether you be a first timer, an amateur, or experienced writer, would fit right in and feel very comfortable with the East Texas Writers Guild because the members are really, really very friendly and welcoming.
Now, there's one thing.
And you're right.
There's one thing I did notice that I put into the reel, and it's something that we went over a couple weeks ago, and it has to do with critiques that you do. Can you tell us a little about those?
Yes. So let me get to that in just a minute. So that was the second Monday was our general speaker. The third Monday, we have what we call our nuts and bolts meeting. And we meet in Tyler at the Brahms next to Target on Broadway Street in the little glass room. And at our nuts and bolts meeting, it's not like the speaker meeting. It's very open discussion. We all just sit around and talk about writing. We usually have a topic, you know, just to get things started, but you can ask any question there that you want to. So if you're stuck or if you have a problem or if you just, you know, don't know something, want to know what your next step is, you can come and talk about that. So yes, I thank you, Mike, for saying that we're friendly and that whether you're just now starting out and you're thinking, I think I just want to write a book. That's how I got started. I was like, I think I want to write a book. So I looked up a Writers Guild, and a lot of people come in and they're like, I've already written a book. Now what do we do? And then some of our members have lots of books out. So we're kind of very diverse. And so if you have any question of all, we can answer that. And then the fourth Monday, for members only, we have a critique group. And I know, CJ, you're not too excited about critique groups, but ours is on Zoom, so anyone can join. It is member only. But the way we do it is we send out pages through email, send back our critiques, and then through Zoom, it's author-led. So if you're very sensitive or you're very new or you don't want to, you know, cry in front of everybody, you just ask the questions, you know, how can I do this better? Or is this, you know, whatever is on your mind about your work. Or you can just say, I don't have any questions, or you can, you know, you can do whatever you want to because it is author-led. Or if you're, you know, really wanting to, you know, hone down and say, hey, everybody had a problem with this part. You know, let's brainstorm. What can we do about this? What's the matter with it? You know, you can figure it out with that critique session.
So how does that work, Lydia?
Okay, let me clarify this part. Some people are fine with them. I'm just very protective. So, you know, and I've actually done critiques for other authors. Remember that conference I was talking about? I've done them for other authors. I have no problem with them if you're fine with it. I just am very protective of my work. Yes. So that's my issue with them. And I've had friends who've had their work stolen. That's my issue with it. If you trust the people that you're sending them to, and it's a small enough group, go for it.
Yes. And I think that's
verifying that from right here.
I understand. And that's why we make it member only.
Right.
So,
right.
For sure. You have to be a
so
member. And
is it completely Zoom? Nothing's in person, correct?
On the critique group, nothing is in person.
So what is the sample of the critique that if someone wanted to be, is it a couple of chapter? I mean, is it a couple of pages? Is it a chapter? Is there a limit?
So
How does that work?
every month we see how many people have joined us. And right now we're sitting in about 20 pages a month, which is not a lot, but it helps you get, to me, I think the start of a book is the most important. So you at least get the start of the book or some pages that you feel like maybe need some work. You can't figure out what's wrong with it. Or you can just sit there and do 20 pages a month and do your whole, the whole book, however you want to do it.
Right. So because we still fresh on, we did critique a couple of weeks ago, I think it was. One of the things, and I don't want to dwell on this very long because we're talking about the East Texas Writers Guild, but do you have you ever had anyone that felt that maybe they were a little, they were tweaked a little too hard, that, because that was one of the things we talked about when we discussed critiques, was the fact that yeah, you have to be honest in your critiques, but if it's all negative all the time and no positive feedback, it really, especially a younger writer or someone who's, or not even younger, just someone who's starting out, could get to the point where they feel like, hey, I'm no good at this, I might as well just drop it.
Right. He's saying this because he had that experience when he first did one.
So I have had that experience in a different critique group, but this critique group is very very helpful. Just seems to be very not harsh. I think the problem with people that are super critical like that is their ego is hurting. So when we don't seem to be having anything like that.
Well, good. And I was just asking, I wasn't applying. I figured, yeah.
When I do it, like I explained, you obviously seen the show, if you knew my opinion. I do the sandwich, the critique sandwich, where it's like something good, and then you say, hey, you can do this better, and you do this better, but this is really good. And it's like the sandwich. And to me, that's better. You can be a critique, or you can be a critic. And it's like, don't be a critic. You can hurt somebody to the point that they don't want to do it. And you don't want to squelch somebody's individuality, and you don't want to squelch somebody's imagination. That's the worst possible thing you can do to somebody.
Right. Well, it's part of the reasons why organizations like the East Texas Writers Guild exist, is to support authors, whether you're a veteran writer or if you're just starting out. And learning from others who's been there, done that, saves a whole lot of time down the road. So I think that's great. I didn't realize that y'all are meeting several, like 3 or 4 different times, with different. So that's awesome. That's real active. So congratulations, Lydia, for the ETWG.
Well, I like that, because then you're not just, oh no, I can't meet this day, therefore I can't meet at all. You're giving them multiple opportunities to come in there, and I think that's really good.
Right. And then every other month after the nuts and bolts meeting, we have a marketing roundtable where we kind of sit around and we talk about, ways we could market. What's worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? Why didn't it work? Did it work for somebody else? And, did you do something that you could change, or is it just not work for anybody? I mean, or, something that did work, or events that, talk about events that are coming up, or just different ways. It's just a roundtable to talk about marketing, but that's only every other month. And again, that's for members.
I love the practicality of your field and what they're doing. And it's not just something that, you guys are doing once in a while. You guys are doing this throughout the year. I love the practicality of that. Now, you guys don't meet in December, though, right?
So we have a Christmas party in December. So we don't meet with our nuts and bolts or anything like that.
Okay.
Otherwise, and we won't meet the critique group.
Right.
But we do have a Christmas party, and it's always a lot of fun.
But you guys meet practically throughout the year, and I think that's brilliant, and I love that.
Yes,
Wow.
we
You
meet
guys are
throughout
being
the
very
year.
professional on it. I like that
And
about your group.
and then in October we have we write our own little scary stories. So we get up and we talk and we, present our own little scary stories. And that's always a lot of fun because some people have funny stories and some people, like I write historical fiction, so mine is always historical. And then some people get really in
Yeah.
the horror part. It just depends, but it's always a lot of fun.
Very
So
cool.
that's just
Well,
something else to
fun's that's part of the process of writing, isn't it? It's part of being a part of a writer's group as well. Can always be serious and nuts and bolts, Need to have some fun now and then.
Do you ever
Yes.
consider putting it into like a book of like short stories and donating a portion of the proceeds to charity?
Well, I hadn't thought of that. I think they did an anthology years ago. I think it was way before I started, but I hadn't thought about putting all the little scary stories together. That might be
But
interesting.
toss to toss that out there. So do you guys
And
do a conference at any point throughout the year or anything like that?
so we used to,
Yeah.
pre-COVID, we would do a conference every year. After COVID, we did a couple, but what we did this year instead, April Coker always chaired the conferences, and she decided she just did not have the time anymore. So what we did this year was we had a series of workshops. We started with, writing your first polishing your first 5 pages, and then we went to writing query letters, and then we did publishing for self-publish, you're publishing, how to self-publish your book. And then we did Amazon ads and Facebook ads, and then we did one on poetry for our
Oh, very
poets.
cool.
So it was kind of like a start to finish. We actually, in November, we kind of said, okay, everybody try to do the NaNoWriMo thing just to try to have something. And so, you could ideally or theoretically, you could have written the book during Nano, edited it, and then gone through our workshops and have the book out and advertised. But
Very
I don't know if
cool.
anybody did that, but you could.
So Lydia, have y'all had, because we've also dealt with this on Book World on several different occasions. Have y'all had much of a vigorous discussion about the pros and cons of AI in writing and publishing?
So yes, we've had numerous discussions. I have my own opinion. I'm very strong opinionated about it. So they don't really talk about it in front of me. But yes, we have discussed that.
Okay, so we have probably about 5 or 10 minutes left. Is there anything you'd like to add regarding Ep26 Writers Guild?
So yes, so the memberships are only $25 a year. So that's really a bargain. And then this year, what we have done differently this year, which I haven't mentioned before, is we have author spotlights. So once a month, we have one of our authors from the Writers Guild get up in front of the group, talk about their books. They could sell them there. So that way we all kind of get to know what everyone is writing. Kind of, we have opportunity to buy their books and to get them signed and stuff. So anyway, I love the Writers Guild. I love the camaraderie and all the people there. And I think it's just a big bargain. You get a lot, I think.
What would be the quickest way if someone is watching or in the Tyler area that wants to join East Texas Writers Guild? How would they do that?
So you go to etwritersguild.org, and it'll have a button on there. Do you want to join? And you can just put your name and whatever else it asks you, name and address, and then pay through PayPal, and you are a member. And you start getting emails and information about we were meeting and all that stuff.
Okay.
Very cool. So is there anything else you wanted to add while we were at it?
No, I really appreciate y'all having me. It's been fun.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I love the practicality that the East Texas Writers Guild does, because you do things throughout the year, and you do things, regarding marketing, you do things regarding critiquing, you do things, make sure to spotlighting each of your authors. You make sure, you give them opportunity to just bring up issues. And I think that I haven't seen that too much in the Writers Guilds
Right.
that I've been to, or the writers groups that I've been to. And I think that that's much needed. And I appreciate that about your writers guild, because I haven't actually seen that. So well done.
Camaraderie.
I love it.
Yeah, the camaraderie is, I know just from my own experience, being one time I was a member of East Texas Writers Association in Longview, Netwo, and Mount Pleasant, of course, East Texas Writers Guild in Tyler. And it's kind of hard to get to, so where I live in Mount Pleasant, we normally go to the Netwell meetings. But the thing that I really like, and to echo what CJ was saying, having actually been at the East Texas Writer Guild meetings and been part of conferences that they've hosted in the past, and also been a speaker there, I do find that it's very welcoming and friendly, and the camaraderie part, like CJ was saying, is extremely important, especially if you're just starting out writing and you're feeling your way, because you're usually a little anxious. You're not sure of yourself, and having people that are friendly to you, that welcome you as a member, can help get over this sort of initial shyness and help you become a better writer.
Well, and if you're sharing your, oh my gosh, I'm having trouble with this, then that person feels like, oh, okay, well then that's normal. Okay, well then I don't feel so bad, because that is normal. Okay, all right, okay. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, then I'm okay. Okay, it's okay to feel that way.
Right.
You don't feel so bad.
Right. It's it's with any hobby or whatever this or interest that you have. When you go out golfing, you go and talk to your golf buddies. So if you're writing, to me, you need to have writing buddies.
Exactly.
I've made a lot of friends, really good friends that we meet outside of the Writers Guild, and I wouldn't give for that. So
yeah, and networking is part of the game. I have friends in all sorts of places regarding authors, and a lot of them, part of your East Texas Writers Guild, part of them part of the East Texas Writers Association, part of them part of NetWell. They're all over the place, and it's like, I love them with all my heart. And part of them, you get to know them, and they help you through those ups and those downs. And I wouldn't trade them for the world.
Right. Yeah.
But you get to know them through stuff like this. And it's like, they let you know that, okay, it's normal. I love my crazy friends. Most of the times my husband goes, your friends are nuts. I know. I love them. It's great. That's how that works. And so, they let you know that it's normal to be crazy.
My husband gets tired of hearing about my characters, but my writer friends are happy about it. So.
That's part of being an author. You're allowed to feel crazy, because that's what we do. Lydia, you've been a treat. Thank you for coming. Anyone wants to know more about the East Texas Writers Guild, you head over to the East Texas WRITERSGUILD.org. Make sure to get that in there, and you can learn more about them and learn all about what they do. Head over to that website and learn more about it. And that's Lydia Holley. Thank you for joining us today. Next, we have, so I can say this correct, Ari Jones with Fantasy Fiction. I've been talking to him today. He's super excited to come on. He's got a couple of books out there. You can check him out. We'll see him next week at 4:00, same time, same station. He's an interesting character. He's got a few things out there besides his writing. You'll learn more about him next week at 4:00, same time, same station. See you guys next week. Bye. Bye-bye.